Hey, good morning, homestead and small farm friends. Rick here from the LaLa farm. So today is the world premiere of the LaLa farm Whizbang chicken plucker. Hope you enjoy. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you like the video. Make sure you ring that notification bell for notification of future videos. Let's spin to it. What?
Your intros are... Let's spin to it.
Hey folks, we have completed the build on our modified Whizbang chicken plucker. And if you're asking yourself, what is a Whizbang chicken plucker? Spend 30 seconds on YouTube and search a couple of times and you're gonna find out. So the Whizbang chicken plucker was a design that was put up onto the internet a long time ago, well over 10 years or so ago. And there's lots of different modifications to this plucker. And we've made our own to try to improve on the original design. So we're going to walk through this really quick. This whole build cost me about $500. I will be able to spin a large turkey in this without any problems. I've got a 1-horse motor on it. Most importantly though, to me on the farm, is I can fix this. This whole thing is built from mostly from off-the-shelf parts. The parts that are not off the shelf were custom built and purchased from planetwhizbang.com, which is the one of the original designers of this. Sells the prints, sells the design online, and then also sells parts. I chose to buy the feather plate and some of the pulleys from Planet Whizbang, but most everything else was sourced off the shelf. So if this breaks, I can fix it, and that's really important to me on the farm. I did not want the one that I was looking at that I wanted. I didn't want a yard bird. I've looked at those. They'd last me a few years, but I don't see them as particularly sturdy. The one that I wanted would have been, shipping included, would have been about $900. The problem is everybody's processing chickens nowadays because of food insecurity, and they're not in stock and not expected to be in stock until the end of 2020. I wanted to build my own in any case. So this is the result of our chicken plucker build. Let's take a tour. The entire plucker is 2x4 pressure treated construction. The frame is built out of pressure treated 2x4s. We've got 2 support boards here, one here, one here. Those are 2x6s, and these are what the pillow bearings sit on that drive and stabilize the plucker extension arm.
I want to point out real quick, we have a subscriber, but I actually know him personally. He's always constantly talking about how my dad keeps like yellow wood and some of the wood attachment hardware like lag bolts and stuff like that, those big companies, he keeps those guys in business because of how he constructs, say, the barn over there or the future greenhouse / shop, and then all of his raised beds. He's constantly making poking at my dad for how he builds stuff. So I just wanted to point out something my dad hasn't touched on yet, but I'm sure he was going to. This thing is a rock. As my dad said, the pressure treated 2x4s, but we actually have them
Carriage bolted here.
Carriage bolted and then lag bolted on the sides right there. So this thing's a rock.
So this thing, I would guess, probably weighs around 150 pounds. It's heavy. So one of the features, I'll explain it later, is to be able to move it easily. So continuing on our tour. It's all wood frame construction. Where I've got broad surface connections between the 2x4s, it's carriage bolted here, and on the sides where I'm only on the side of the 2x4, I've got lag screws here, and that's what holds the frame together. So this is nothing more than a food grade barrel that I got from our farm center, is what this is made out of. So I cut most of the top off of this. The original Whizbang design had the entire bottom of the barrel cut out. Now, one of the things that varies from design to design is all barrels do not have the same dimensions. So depending upon the exact barrel that you use, it will have its own dimensions, which will define what the drive system is going to look like and how it's going to perform. So I'll talk about that in a second when I get to the drive system. But here's the inside of the barrel. Now the bottom of this barrel, I chose not to cut out because I did not like that feature in the original Whizbang design. So if you look down here where my fingers are, right there, this is only cut out. There's about a 4-inch cutout from here to here. 4 to 5 inch cutout. That's all that's cut out. I did not cut out the bottom because if you look underneath that, you've got a pillow block bearing right here, and I did not want the feathers to be dispelled and land on this. So not to say there's not going to be any water, there's going to be some, but the feathers and the water should be pushed out this way, and we'll put a collection bucket down here on the bottom. Now this particular pillow block bearing is an industrial grade bearing that I can use, that I can grease, because they've got built-in grease fittings right here. You'll see a green cover there, and there's one on each fitting so that we can grease these fittings so that we get a lot more longer life out of them. So coming back up here to the drive system, inside we've used stainless steel hardware inside of this. The actual feather plate, now this is one of the components that I did purchase from Planet Whizbang, and this was the majority, between this and the motor, is the majority of the cost of this unit. So for the drive bar and the actual feather plate was about $175. It's all aluminum and all stainless steel here. Inside we have an arrangement of feather pluckers, and those feather pluckers do the dirty work for taking the feathers off of the chicken. They're both on the sidewall as well as on the feather plate. So you can see from these plucker fingers, they're pretty heavy duty. So they extend from the outside, you pull them to the inside, and this was a major task, and then they stick there. They're pretty rigid. It took some time to pull those in there. My hands hurt for 3 days after pulling all these fingers in. So once the barrel was installed, then we come to the drive system here. So the drive system is a few components. So we've got a 16-inch pulley down here on the bottom. That hooks to the bottom of the drive shaft. The drive shaft extends from this 16-inch drive plate through 2 pillow block bearings and then attaches to the bottom of the feather plate up here. The bottom of the pulley on the bottom of the motor, this is a 4.5-inch. This is a 4.5-inch pulley here. This motor I sourced from Harbor Freight Tools. The original design called for a 3/4 horse, 1750 RPM, 1/2-inch drive shaft. This fit all of that criteria. We're a little bit higher on RPMs. This is an 1800 RPM, but instead of using a 3/4 horse, this is a 1 horse motor. Didn't cost me any more than about 10 bucks to go from a 3/4 to a 1 horsepower, so I got plenty of power. To hook these two together, I wanted something that was going to be relatively watertight, because there's going to be water splashing around this unit. We're also going to be spraying water into the plucker fingers as that plucker is turning, which is going to be throwing water all over the place. So this is a farm grade outdoor use motor. This is all watertight enclosure. So we come out of the control body, or out of the wiring body here, come up through a watertight hose. This is an exterior use switch encasing, all watertight as well. We've got a little seal around here, so water should not be an issue. The only other unique thing in the drive system is if we tip this up, you'll see that as time goes on and this unit is used, this pulley system will stretch this belt out. So I've got a tensioner that I attached right here. This is nothing more than a hinge attached to a 2x2 block of wood with another pulley here. So when this turns, this tensioner keeps tension on it by the use of a regular piece of wire rope and a spring and a carabiner attached to the other side.
That's hillbilly engineering right there.
So I can tighten this or whatever I need to do to make sure that I've got tension on this to minimize the slippage on this pulley, the drive pulley. All right, so we've gone through the drive system. To turn it on, it's real simple. This is the waterproof switch. It goes on. It starts turning the feather plate. And that's it. So it's turning at about 1750 RPMs, which is the rate at which the original design seemed to perform best. They did many iterations of this design before settling on the one that actually is in the book. In fact, there's multiple design mods in the book depending upon what your needs are. So in terms of other mods that I've made, I did not put a board on this side because there's going to be a pan down here to catch feathers that will come out of the drain here. And then I did put a board here. And this board essentially allows me to take a dolly and slide it up underneath, because this thing is heavy, which will allow me to move it. The original design, Whizbang Design, just had the 4 legs. And then there was some modifications. You can put wheels and stuff on it. I don't know that I want wheels. I can just move it wherever I want when I want to use it. So that's our Whizbang design. Now, for those of you that have stuck with this video until the very end, here's what we're going to do for you. So in this, Little Rick's giving you some shots of the interior of this design.
But that's the last amount that I'm giving you.
Rick's giving you some shots of the inside of this plucker where you were actually looking at the fingers. So we're going to have a little competition here, a little giveaway. All you have to do is guess without going over. So the closest guess wins, or the closest guess wins without going over how many chicken plucker fingers are in this unit. The person who guesses closest to the number of pluckers in this unit without going over will win this brand new Anyone Can Build a Tub-Style Mechanical Chicken Plucker. And this is authored by Herrick Kimball. This is the design that this chicken plucker is based on.
Without modifications.
Without modifications. So this is the original design book for the Whizbang plucker. Whoever guesses the number of chicken plucker fingers in this unit without going over, the closest person will win this book. So voting will stay open through the end of September. And on the end of September, we will look at all of the guesses and notify who that is, and then we'll let you know how many chicken finger pluckers there are in this plucker. Make sure to put your guesses on this video, like the video, and put your guess underneath in the comment section, and we will let you know at the end of September how many actual fingers are in this plucker. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have not hit that thumbs up button, please do so. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Helps us out a lot. Make sure to ring that notification bell, get notification of future content. Friends, always remember, treat others as you would like to be treated. Be well, and thank you for visiting the farm. Take care.